At 9:17 p.m., the lights flicker once, then vanish. Elevators freeze between floors. The hum of refrigerators collapses into silence. Air conditioning systems exhale their final breath. In the first 60 seconds of a citywide blackout, nothing appears catastrophic. Phones glow. Car headlights still move outside. Distant sirens echo. But inside a high-rise apartment tower, the physics of modern urban life begin to reverse. Water pressure starts falling as electric pumps shut down. Cellular networks shift to battery reserves measured in hours. Electronic key fobs fail. Magnetic doors default to locked or unsecured states. What feels like a temporary inconvenience is, in reality, the opening phase of a cascading systems failure that urban residents are structurally unprepared to survive. The modern apartment building is not a shelter. It is a vertical machine dependent on uninterrupted energy flow. Electricity drives booster pumps that lift water to rooftop tanks. It powers sewage ejector systems in basement levels. It runs ventilation fans that prevent carbon monoxide accumulation in parking garages. It operates electronic access control, fire suppression monitoring panels, intercoms, refrigeration, climate control, lighting, and communication infrastructure. Remove grid power and the building becomes an inert concrete shell. Residents often assume backup generators will compensate, but most residential high-rises do not power full apartments during outages. Emergency generators, where installed, are typically sized only for fire alarms, stairwell lighting, and sometimes one elevator on controlled cycles. They are not designed to maintain domestic normalcy. That misunderstanding becomes deadly after the first 24 hours. There is a persistent belief that cities are safer during disasters because resources are concentrated and help is nearby. In reality, density amplifies fragility. Urban systems operate on just-in-time logistics. Grocery stores hold roughly 3 days of inventory. Water distribution depends on electrically powered pump stations. Fuel stations require electricity to operate pumps. When a blackout extends beyond localized infrastructure failure and becomes regional, resupply halts. Residents accustomed to delivery apps and corner stores discover that inventory vanishes within hours. Refrigerated food spoils in 4 to 6 hours without power if unopened. Faster if doors are accessed repeatedly. Freezers may hold safe temperatures for approximately 24 to 48 hours, depending on insulation and fill level. Few apartment dwellers track these timelines because the grid has conditioned them not to. The hidden science of apartment survival begins with load dependence and vertical vulnerability. In low-rise homes, gravity-fed water systems may function temporarily. In high-rises, gravity works against occupants. Water must be pushed upward using electric pumps. When those pumps stop, upper floors lose pressure first. Toilets stop refilling. Taps run dry. Residents often misinterpret this as a municipal water main break. In truth, it is a mechanical limitation. Rooftop tanks may provide limited reserve supply, but once drained, replenishment requires power. Municipal systems can maintain pressure at street level using large-scale pumping stations with generator backups, but individual building distribution fails internally. The evidence is well documented in post-hurricane assessments following events like extended outages in major metropolitan areas, where upper floors became uninhabitable within 48 hours due to water loss alone. Water scarcity escalates secondary risks. Without running water, sanitation collapses. Human waste accumulates. Improvised solutions like plastic bag toilet systems become necessary, yet few urban residents possess sanitation planning materials. The misunderstanding is that potable water is the primary concern. In reality, non-potable water for flushing and hygiene often becomes the limiting factor first. Disease transmission risk increases when hand-washing declines and waste disposal becomes inconsistent. Epidemiological studies following prolonged outages demonstrate spikes in gastrointestinal illness, not because pathogens appear spontaneously, but because sanitation infrastructure fails silently. Food security degrades next. High-rise apartments rarely contain bulk storage. Pantry space is minimal. Many residents rely on refrigerated perishables. Without power, cooking options shrink to nothing unless alternative fuel systems exist. Yet indoor combustion presents lethal danger. Carbon monoxide poisoning incidents rise sharply during blackouts when residents use charcoal grills, propane stoves, or gasoline generators indoors or on balconies. Carbon monoxide binds to hemoglobin with over 200 times the affinity of oxygen, preventing oxygen transport at the cellular level. It is odorless and invisible. In enclosed spaces, lethal concentrations can accumulate in minutes. Emergency.